Hey everybody. So this is going to only be one chapter that I'm going to do, just so y'all can digest chapter 5. It's a really good one about trust. Um, and again, I just think it will speak to you in a powerful way. So here we go. How do I develop trust? Trust is the foundation of leadership. One of the most important lessons a leader can learn is how trust works. To me, it is a little like earning and spending pocket change. Each time you make a good leadership decision, it puts charge into your pocket. Each time you make a poor one, you have to pay out some of your change to the people. Every leader has a certain amount of change in his pocket when he starts in a new leadership position. From then on, he either builds up his change or pays it out. If he makes one bad decision after another, he keeps paying out change. Then one day, after making one last bad decision, he's going to reach into his pocket and realize he is out of change. It doesn't even matter if the blunder was big or small. When you're out of change, you're out as a leader. A leader's history of success and failures makes a big difference in his credibility. Your people know when you make mistakes. The real question is whether you're going to fess up. If you do, you can often quickly regain their trust. I've learned firsthand that when it comes to leadership, you just can't take shortcuts, no matter how long you've been leading your people. Trust is the foundation of leadership. There are three qualities a leader must exemplify to build trust: competence, connection, and character. People forgive occasional mistakes based on ability, especially if they can see that you're still growing as a leader. But when they won't trust someone who has slips in character in that area, even occasional lapses are lethal. All effective leaders know this truth. Okay, so I'm gonna stop there for a second. So one thing that even happened for me recently is I went and told somebody, uh, just kind of that I was really sorry because there were some fears that I had that I was allowing to not have me love them well in coaching. Uh, so I kind of had to just say, hey, listen, these are the reasons that I didn't pursue you further. Here were my fears. Here were, it's a long, long story, but not, it's not important to any of y'all. But I just say it is true that um, people are much more willing for you to just be honest and say, I messed up. And I mean, I really think it's amazing, especially as Christians, that people are more willing to forgive you than you give them credit. So always just apologize. I think that's the classiest thing that we can do is apologize for our mistakes because we're going to make them because we're not perfect and we're not Jesus. So anyway, back to the story. Okay. So people will tolerate honest mistakes, but if you violate their trust, you will find it very difficult to ever regain their confidence. That is one reason that you need to treat trust as your most precious asset. You may fool your boss, but you can never fool your colleagues or subordinates. General H. Norman Schwarzkopf points to the significance of character. Leadership is a potent combination of strategy and character, but if you must be without one, be without strategy. Character and leadership credibility always go hand in hand. Anthony Harrigan, president of the United States Business and Industrial Council, said, the role of character has always been the key factor in the rise and fall of nations, and one can be sure that America is no exception to this rule of history. We won't survive as a country because we are smarter or more sophisticated, but because we are, we hope, stronger inwardly. In short, character is the only effective bulwark against internal and external forces that lead to a country's disintegration or collapse. Character makes trust possible, and trust makes leadership possible. Character communicates. Character communicates many things to followers. Character communicates consistency. Leaders without inner strength can be counted on day after day because their ability to perform changes constantly. Let me read that again. Leaders without inner strength can't be counted on day after day because their ability to perform changes constantly. NBA, great. And I do want to just say here, because I know this man is a believer that writes this book. I really think when he says inner strength that he's really, excuse me. You'll see, I can't do these late at night. I'm yawning too much. I think really when he's saying inner strength, like really we all need to be focusing on the Lord. And if we don't know that that's our inner strength, you can't be reliable if you're not going to God to ask for help. Okay. So, because their ability to perform changes constantly, NBA great Jerry West commented, "You can't get too much done in life if you only work on the days when you feel good. If your people don't know what to expect from you as a leader, at some point they won't look to you for leadership. When a leader's character is strong, people trust him and they trust in his ability to release their potential. Think about what happened in the late 1980s. Several high-profile Christian leaders stumbled and fell due to moral issues. That lack of consistency compromised their ability to lead their people. In fact, it gave a black eye to every pastor across the nation because it caused people to become suspicious of all church leaders, regardless of their personal track records. The flawed character of those fallen leaders destroyed the foundation for their leadership. When I think of leaders who epitomize consistency of character, the first person who comes to mind is Billy Graham. Regardless of personal religious beliefs, everybody trusts him. Why? Because he has modeled high character for more than half a century. He lives out his values every day. He never makes a commitment unless he is going to keep it. And he goes out of his way to personify integrity. Character communicates potential. John Morley observed no man can climb out beyond the limitations of his own character. That's especially true when it comes to leadership. Take, for instance, the case of NHL coach Mike Keenan. As of mid 1997, he had a noteworthy record of professional hockey victories. The fifth greatest number of regular season wins, the third greatest number of playoff victories, six division titles, four NHL finals appearances, and one Stanley Cup. Yet, despite these commendable credentials, Keenan was unable to stay with a single team for any length of time. Wow. In 11 and a half seasons, he coached four different teams. And after his stint with the fourth team, the St. Louis Blues, he was unable to land a job for a long time. Why? Sports writer E.M. Swift said of Keenan, the reluctance to hire Keenan is easily, basically explainable. Everywhere he has been, he has alienated players and management. Evidently, his players didn't trust him. Neither did the owners, who were benefiting from seeing their teams win. Craig explains, you don't build trust by talking about it. You build it by achieving results, always with integrity and in a manner that shows real personal regard for people with whom you work. When a leader's character is strong, people trust him and they trust in his ability to release their potential. That not only gives followers hope for the future, but it also promotes a strong belief in themselves and their organization. Character communicates respect. When you don't have strength within, you can't earn respect without. Respect is absolutely essential for lasting leadership. How do leaders earn respect? By making sound decisions and admitting their mistakes and putting what's best for their followers and the organization ahead of their personal agendas. A leader's good character builds trust among his followers, but when a leader breaks trust, he forfeits his ability to lead. I was again reminded of this while listening to a lesson taught by my friend Bill Hybels. 4 times a year, he and I teach a seminar called